Republic of Ireland's group, full-time at the Aviva Stadium. It is all over there. And Ireland have beaten Armenia. Here's a look at the Group F table as it stands this evening. But the bad news from an Irish point of view is that Hungary have scored a late equaliser in Lisbon against Portugal. Dominic Szoboszlai in the first minute of injury time after Portugal stole the win against Ireland at the weekend. It's the shoe on the other foot from their point of view. What that all means is that despite Ireland getting the job done against 10 men in Armenia, if Hungary go and beat Armenia next month in the first round of the two games, then if Ireland lose at home to Portugal in their next game, it is done. Ireland's World Cup hopes are over. So if Portugal had beaten Hungary tonight, it would have gone down to the last night in Budapest, Ireland travelling out there no matter what happened. But now Ireland essentially need to get something unless Hungary blow it against Armenia. Of course, a lot can happen. Overall sense of the night, Richard?
We spoke about hope before the game and hoping that we could win a game, and it just came down to that. You know, there was no real quality in the game where you thought, right, we're dominating and we look really good and there's all these sort of patterns and it's great. It was just, I hope we score, I hope we get a chance, I hope they put one away, and that's the way it turned out. I think up until the player got sent off, it was really, really even. You were still fearing for the result. Once the red card came, we showed a bit of intensity for 10 or 15 minutes, got our goal, and then fell back into our own ways where we're sitting back and sitting deep. Obviously missed quite a few chances. The keeper done some really good saves. But it's great because we've won. It's really good, but it's a 1-0 scraped victory almost against the team ranked 103rd. We treated them with far too much respect again. I think we need to be more positive in our own game rather than worrying. You looked when they went to 10 men and we started pressing the goalkeeper, he was kicking it out of play. Same with the defenders, and when we just allowed them to play too easy, too often. But there's been enough bad days and dark days for this Irish team, so it's good that they got the victory and got the job done, and there still is a glimmer of hope that we might be able to drag it to the last day. Do you agree with that, Brian, that Ireland treated Armenia with too much respect tonight, or was it a case that that's what Ireland are, that, as Richard said, hanging on and scraping a win, it's a win?
Well, I found it fairly depressing to watch it, Thomas, in that we struggled so badly in the first half to string passes together, to dominate the game. We were sitting back as if they were as good as Portugal, or at times we were trying to make them look like Brazil. We're sitting off them and playing with a compact unit, 5-4-1.
Intentionally, do you think?
I think it was part of the instructions. It was a little bit like, because it worked against Portugal the other night and we've conceded goals and we were 2-0 down to Hungary at home in the first half and we were losing, and Armenia eventually lost in Armenia, that we've got to be tight and compact defensively seemed to be the biggest priority tonight, instead of us grabbing the game with the scruff of the neck and making them look like the team they are, which are a very limited team in possession. They were quite poor in possession. And it was a tough watch, you know. Then when we started getting chances, we were missing them. Evan Ferguson had a great chance and put it straight at the goalkeeper. O'Shea had a couple of headers. But there's a lack of confidence there, there's no doubt. And it was a scrambling win. Once again, we got a point off Hungary when they had 10 men from the 52nd minute on. And tonight it was, I think, 6 minutes injury time, 96 minutes. So you're playing for nearly the whole second half with 10 men. Tonight, the same thing, 52nd minute, and yet we struggled just to get there with a 1-0 win. Then we could have dressed it up and got 2 or 3.
The manager might say, yeah, their keeper has made some brilliant saves, and actually we could be walking around here with 4-0 win.
That's what the goalkeeper's supposed to do. Yeah. Our goalkeeper makes great saves and keeps us in matches. Against Hungary, when they were down to 10 men, our goalkeeper kept us in the game. And that's what the keeper's supposed to do. You're supposed to beat the goalkeeper, not make him look very good. And some of the chances tonight made him look very good. But it wasn't a good performance. And, you know, now we've a couple of more players suspended for the next couple of games. And we're a bit all over the place at the moment, I think, Tommy, in the direction we're going in. And I would go back to the appointment and the timing and the waiting around, and John O'Shea having the match for 4 matches, the manager not coming in and waiting on John and letting John pick the team for the first couple of games and all that stuff. And now him finding out that fellas like Seamus Coleman should be in the team and should be playing, and suddenly putting Malumbi back in the team and Festy back in the team when they weren't in the squad last month. Now they're back in the squad this month and they're playing. I think it's taken the manager too long to find out about the individuals. He talked early on about wanting to have a settled group and a fairly settled team. But you can only do that if you know that the players are good enough to win your matches. And you've got to find that out as early as possible and have the right options to change those. Now it's kind of chop and change and hope for the best. Play the 3 centre halves no matter what, because Jake O'Brien has proved himself at Everton. He wasn't in the team for a good while. Now he plays with Collins every match. Darragh O'Shea plays every match. After that, it's a bit of who's fit, who's available, what might work tonight. And I just think it's a bit all over the place. And look, we maybe Hungary go to Armenia and Armenia do us a favour. But it looks like we got to win our 2 games. It looks a tall order based on what we've been saying.
Yeah, we may need to get a point at least against Portugal and then beat Hungary away.